forces has it, and they are on their way.
रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं
और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल्स गिरी है।
इजराइल अब ये इंतजार कर रहा है कि जैसे ही सभी लोगों को बाहर लेकर आया जाएगा, आतंकी को खत्म करने को लेकर जो स्ट्रैटेजी इजराइल ने बनाई है उसकी तैयारी भी की जाएगी।
ಇಸ್ರೇಲ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಹಮಾಸ್ ನಡುವಿನ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ 12ನೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ದಿಟ್ಟ ವರದಿಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು,
गोलियों की बौछार हमास के आतंकियों द्वारा कर दी गई।
So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given.
Burning Question, presented by Greenply, powered by Edelweiss Mutual Fund.
Israel strikes over 300 Hamas targets as it prepares for the potential ground offensive. Left groups stage a protest in support of the Hamas in the national capital. They call this their support for Palestine. Yogi government forms an SIT now to investigate foreign funding to madrasas in the state of Uttar Pradesh. War of words over Akhilesh as the future Prime Minister posters. Akhilesh is downplaying it. The BJP says he could be daydreaming. Amidst the India-Canada standoff, reports suggest India could be exploring options to approach the FATF. A Canadian journalist interview reveals Trudeau's charges were based on an unverified and an unpublished news report. And the legendary left-arm spinner Bishan Singh Bedi passes away at the age of 77. A very good evening. You're watching The Burning Question and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Every day at this time, we usually bring our issues that matter to you, issues that will get important in a part of a conversation in the run-up to the battle of 2024. The battle is still a few months away, but then there are interesting moves and checkmates being offered by the ruling dispensation and the opposition. The opposition that many say is mired with its own contradictions right now, but there is this controversy about Rath Prabharis. Now, just in case you wonder what this entire issue is all about, so we'll tell you and bring up those figures also on our screens that will help you understand who stands where. Now, as expected, you have the NDA that says it's important to talk of the welfare schemes of the government. The Prime Minister, remember, uses a phrase. He says, Tushtikaran nahi, Santushtikaran. Now, Santushtikaran in literal terms is saturation. The Prime Minister time and again has spoken about the saturation of the tons of the welfare schemes by the government. The idea is to ensure that there is a last mile delivery, and in the farthest of villages, in the remotest of villages, the last man or woman standing gets the benefits of the schemes that the government has been working on for the last 9 years. On the other side, you have the usual suspects, if I can use that word. That does include Rahul Gandhi. It includes Mallikarjun Kharge, and interestingly, this also has Sitaram Yechuri of the left. Now, what is the problem in case the government wants to ensure the last mile delivery of all its welfare schemes? The problem is, according to the opposition, the use of babus or bureaucrats. Remember, the bureaucrats are said to be the steel of the entire administration. They owe their allegiance not to a political party, not to a government, but to the constitution. So this means that they cannot be taking sides. All that they have to think of is the constitution and the welfare of the common people. Now, the BJP has spoken of a term that says Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. This is a yatra that begins just after Diwali. It will go on till the month of January, and the idea is to ensure that you get these bureaucrats now to talk of the welfare schemes of the government. You heard that right. The bureaucrats will be talking of the welfare schemes of the government. Now the government says that what is wrong in this? Because the idea is to ensure that the last man standing gets the benefits, and the bureaucrats are duty bound to do this. But the opposition says that you cannot politicize the bureaucracy. Now there will be a lot of fireworks that we'll see on this entire issue. But before I actually on the screen bring up details of this entire thing, just to let you know that in this country, it's not the first time that, remember, bureaucrats are being perhaps used to propagate the goods of any government. If you remember, during the 1960s, perhaps late, or the early 70s, Indira Gandhi, for the first time, remember, used a term, quote unquote, committed bureaucracy. The committed bureaucracy of the country. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's bring up the entire details of this entire scheme. Will Babus be also designated as Rath Prabharis? Now the government says that these bureaucrats need to get together. They'll be on a chariot like a vehicle that's going to be called Rath, and they will be designated as Rath Prabharis. So the problem is also with this connotation, that is Rath Prabharis. Is this going to be public work like the government says, or this is propaganda as the opposition says? So let's open up the entire subject, bring up details of what really this scheme is. How does this move? What is the problem? What is the contention? Who stands where? Now, when Babus are being designated as Rath Prabharis, the opposition says, and the opposition, remember, has shot off a letter to the Prime Minister already. So I'll just request our team to bring up the next graphic for you to understand why this is so contentious and what does this scheme really entail. Now, before we bring up that graphic, I think this is the center deploying bureaucrats to propagate welfare schemes. Now, welfare schemes are the Ujjwala Yojana, the Har Ghar Jal Yojana, a number of other schemes that the government, remember, the Awas Yojana that the Prime Minister has been talking about. So the center says that the bureaucrats must propagate the welfare schemes and bring up an assessment of where do we stand. This is a cross-country yatra to spread awareness on all these schemes. And like I said, this begins just after Diwali and this will go on till January, and this is in the run-up to the big elections of 2024. On our screens now will be more details of how this scheme essentially is going to move. You will have joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, deputed as quote-unquote Rath Prabharis. Read this very carefully. Joint secretaries, deputy secretaries who are deputed as Rath Prabharis. The opposition says, why to call them Rath Prabharis? Does this have a political connotation? The opposition believes yes. But on the course of this entire show, we'll bring up our panelists to ask them whether this is really propaganda or this is real work. Now to our next point, that again will help you understand that what this yatra is. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra begins on November the 20th. It goes on till January the 25th. And remember, post that, mostly you will have the model code of conduct setting in, the announcement of elections. And even during this period, you will have the winter elections to 5 states that will conclude in the next few weeks. And this is going to cover the entire country, the length and breadth of the entire country. About 2.7 lakh panchayats in the country is what this scheme really intends to cover. So this is throughout the country, and why the opposition believes that you cannot be using bureaucrats who are committed, possibly they allege, to your cause, to your government, to your schemes, to do propaganda for you. Before we get in our panel of guests, this is just a reaction that has come in from the government that defends the scheme, and also a reaction from the opposition and why they see a real problem here.
तो ये जो एक डेमोक्रेसी को कमजोर करने की एक हुनर इन्होंने निकाला है, ये अच्छा नहीं, इसका कंडम हम करते हैं। और इसीलिए मैंने लिख के भेजा है कि लोकतांत्रिक सिस्टम में हम ऑफिसरों को इस्तेमाल नहीं करना चाहिए।
This sort of misuse, gross misuse of the governmental machinery has not been seen in India ever. Every department is being asked to propagate what has been achieved under the Modi government.
And we've heard reactions that have come in from the BJP. Both Amit Malviya and the BJP National President JP Nadda have defended that entire scheme, and they instead put the ball in the Congress's or the opposition's court to ask that what really the problem is if the idea is to talk good of the government schemes. Zafar Islam, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Dr. Nimi Rastogi of the Aam Aadmi Party, I think, will just be with us in a moment, and we'll have her on the screens then. Nikhil Jain is a political analyst. He leans towards the Congress. We also have GM Shaheen ji, who represents the JDU. And also good to have Uday Kumar Singh. He's not a politician, but he is a former bureaucrat, and he's also convener of the BJP's intellectual cell in Bihar. Yes, I'm not sure if Nikhil's audio is through or not, so we'll just ask our team to fix that and carry forward this conversation now. So, to Uday Kumar Singh ji, I'll come to you first, sir, because you are a former bureaucrat. I want you to tell us whether this scheme, the Viksit Bharat scheme, and the government saying that the bureaucrats must propagate the goods of this scheme and ensure the last mile delivery, is this genuine work or you believe this is propaganda?
देखिए, बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण विषय है और आपने बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न किया है
जी,
लेकिन इसका उत्तर बहुत चंद शब्दों में नहीं होगा, बड़ा लंबा इसका उत्तर होगा। चूंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने 9 वर्षों के शासनकाल में अपना समय नहीं बिताया है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने देश में बहुत ही जन उपयोगी जन कल्याणकारी योजनाएं लाई है। जैसे आपने चर्चा के क्रम में कहा उज्ज्वला योजना, आपने चर्चा के क्रम में कहा जो आयुष्मान योजना, आपने प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना का चर्चा किया, आपने जनधन योजना का चर्चा किया, और इसी तरीके से अनेकों योजनाएं हम लोगों ने जन उपयोगी जन कल्याण के लिए लाया है इस पूरे देश में। और उन योजनाओं के विषय में जनता को बताना ताकि वो उसका पूरा लाभ उठा सकें, ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी जो उन योजनाओं को मूर्त रूप दे रही है उसकी जिम्मेवारी बनती है। आपको मालूम होगा कि हमने एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के तर्ज पे काम करना शुरू किया। जो जिला इन योजनाओं में पिछड़ रहे थे उनको हमने एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स कह के नोटिफाई किया, और वहां पे हमने ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी लेवल के ऑफिसर्स को अधिकृत किया कि आप उन जिलाओं को डेडिकेटेड रूप से देखें कि वो भारतवर्ष में जो जनउपयोगी योजनाएं लाई गई हैं उन किन किन योजनाओं में पीछे जा रहे हैं, जो उन योजनाओं का मॉनिटरिंग शुरू हुआ।
उदय कुमार सिंह जी, मेरे आपसे सर 2 छोटे से सवाल हैं, उससे पहले हम पॉलिटिशियंस को पैनल पे लाए। मैं आपसे ये सवाल पूछ रही हूँ क्योंकि सर आप एक फॉर्मर ब्यूरोक्रेट रह चुके हैं। अब मुझे ये बताइए कि अगर एक ब्यूरोक्रेट जो कहा जाता है कि उनका अलीजेंस सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे होता है, किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से नहीं होता, किसी पॉलिटिकल दल से नहीं होता, और आपको याद होगा इंदिरा गांधी ने फेमसली एक कमिटेड ब्यूरोक्रेसी की बात कही थी सर, और उसको लेकर उस दौर में क्या हुआ था मैं दोहराना नहीं चाहती, लेकिन ये सब इलेक्शन के इतने पास में अगर होता है और उसके बाद एक रथ प्रभारी का टर्म यूज किया जाता है, सर आपको लगता है कि ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को उससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए?
रथ प्रभारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी का झंडा और कमल का सिंबल लेकर के तो नहीं घूम रहे हैं। उनको इन योजनाओं की जिम्मेवारी दी गई है कि आप इसको जनता के बीच लाएं। आप बीच में नहीं बोले।
शाहिद जी, let him complete his point, उसके बाद बोलिएगा प्लीज, one by one.
No, this is not fair.
सुनिए शाहीन जी, we must learn to listen to each other, please. It's a request. We'll go one by one. I'm going to come back to you. Please let him complete his point, sir. Please. उदय जी आप अपना point finish करिए।
आप बोलिए। कोई भी योजना जब सरकार लाती है उसका मूर्त रूप ब्यूरोक्रेसी के माध्यम से दिया जाता है। अगर कहीं पे किसी योजना की जानकारी जनता को नहीं है और उसके जानकारी के अभाव में वो पूरी तरह से लाभान्वित नहीं हो पा रही है, तो सरकार का ये फर्ज है कि जो लोग उस योजना को लागू कर रहे हैं उसका अवेयरनेस बढ़ाएं। और आप देखती होंगी कि जो बहुत सारी योजनाएं जनता के द्वारा नहीं जानकारी के अभाव में उसका लाभ नहीं उठाया जा रहा है। और अगर ऐसा लगता है
ठीक है
कि कहीं से
ठीक है, तो आपको लगता है इसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है, आपको लगता है इसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है. We'll before I get in Zafar, and I think we also have the AAP representative now with us, so we'll just get her on the screens. आती उदय जी आपके पास आऊंगी. Let's quickly get the opposition. What is the problem, Nikhil? You know, if this is a government that is concerned about their last mile delivery, they want to ensure that the last man or woman standing gets the benefits of these welfare schemes. How can the Congress have a problem whose own leader Indira Gandhi had spoken about a quote-unquote committed bureaucracy, Nikhil? Nikhil, can you hear me? No, I think we have an issue with that audio. So we'll just get Nikhil back. But Shaheen ji, you want to respond to that? And आप भी देखिए ना, जनता दल यूनाइटेड में एक पर्सन थे आरसीपी सिंह, जो पहले एक ब्यूरोक्रेट थे. वो रिटायरमेंट लेते हैं. He takes a retirement, premature retirement. Then he works with Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, that's good.
Now obviously he's changed his party. So अगर आप लिस्ट देखें ना शाहीन जी, all political parties are guilty of this.
नहीं वो दूसरा इशू है.
We are not against anyone. मैडम क्या है, हम लोग अरे सुनिए, मुझे कहने दीजिए पहले. आप अपोज देखिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर जो भी
उदय जी आई विल कम बैक टू यू सर. ये सवाल शाहीन जी के लिए है.
1962 द आईएएस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. देखिए जो कानून बना 1962 में जो कानून बना, आप उसका वायलेशन नहीं कर सकते. हम तो सिंपल बात कह रहे हैं. आपको अभी क्यों आया याद इलेक्शन के वक्त? अभी तक आप सोए थे क्या? देखिए अभी 3 साल पहले, 2 साल पहले, 6 महीने पहले आप क्यों नहीं ये अपने जो
नहीं, तो आपको प्रॉब्लम टाइमिंग से है ना. फिर आप ये बोलिए कि ये पॉलिटिकली टाइम है, बट ये बताइए ना, हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी सर ये चाहती है कि वो इलेक्शंस में जीते.
बिकॉज़ इलेक्शन
So your problem is with the timing, and your problem is also with the word Rath Prabhari. Am I right?
Prabhari, why don't obviously, why don't you give the name of the block presidents instead of Rath Prabhari? आप सिंपल कहिए ना, हमारी पार्टी के ब्लॉक प्रेसिडेंट जा रहे हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज में ये अपना प्रचार करने के लिए. डोंट आस्क देम Rath Prabhari. Tell them कि these are all the block presidents of भारतीय जनता पार्टी. That's it. आप देखिए जितने भी कितने आज के, अगर आप देखिए आज का समाचार आप देखिए.
ठीक है. So you do not have the problem with the idea that the last man standing should be getting the benefits. You have a problem with the timing, and you have a problem with the word Rath Prabhari. I also do see
absolutely
Dr. Nimi Rastogi on our screens now, but not sure if Nikhil can hear me. Uday ji, आप please थोड़ा wait करिएगा, मैं आऊंगी आपके पास. But Dr. Nimi, where do you stand on this entire issue? You know, there is also a conversation about freebies, about revdi culture, about empowerment.
Now
this is a government that says we want to empower everyone.
हमें 1 सेकंड का समय.
So why should that be a problem? Do you support the government, Dr. Nimi?
ये एक बैड प्रेसिडेंस है. एक व्यवस्था होती है, उसके कुछ लोग होते हैं जो व्यवस्था चलाते हैं, उनको राजनीति में इस्तेमाल करना एक बहुत ही गलत एग्जाम्पल होगा. अगर पहले होता आ रहा है तो इसका मतलब ये कि नहीं वो वैलिडेट हो गया है. ब्यूरोक्रेसी के बहुत जरूरी काम होते हैं, उनको आप इस तरह से नहीं लगा सकते. इसका मतलब है आप पूरे देश की व्यवस्था को ठप कर सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपना प्रचार करना चाहते हैं. हमने रेल उद्घाटनों में देखा है कि रेल में कर्मचारियों की इतनी ज्यादा कमी होती है, फिर भी उनको फॉर्मल ड्यूटी पे लगा देते हैं, जहाँ आम जनता सफर करती रहती है और प्रधानमंत्री अपने प्रचार मंत्री बनकर प्रचार करते रहते हैं. तो एज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ आम आदमी पार्टी मुझे ये लगता है कि ये गलत तंत्र है, ये गलत व्यवस्था है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. और इससे बहुत गलत एग्जाम्पल सेट इन होता है जो आगे भी लोग इसको वैलिडेट करेंगे. सो वी कंप्लीटली रिप्यूट इट एंड वी आर नॉट इन फेवर.
Okay, you reject that idea. Nikhil, before you come in, I have to quickly now get in Zafar to respond to this. Now, Zafar, does this somewhere also indicate that there has been a problem with the last mile delivery of the government? The reason why today you need to rope in bureaucrats. And why should, bureaucrats to the levels of secretaries, joint secretaries, why should they be deputed for this work? I mean, they owe their allegiance to the constitution, not to a political party, Zafar, is what the opposition alleges.
देखिए, चाहे वो ब्यूरोक्रेसी हो, चाहे गवर्नमेंट हो, चाहे नेता हो, सब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे ही बिलीव करते हैं, सबका एलिजेंस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे रहता है, एंड एवरीबडी इज अ सर्वेंट ऑफ a common man on the street. So whether it's a bureaucrats or whether it's a leader, everybody has to serve who? A common man. And what they are doing, they are trying to reach out to every common man, every nook and corner of the country, to understand if as you rightly mentioned, last mile equity, because the last person in the queue should be the beneficiary. And if he has not been able to avail the benefit, then these people has to reach them out and make them understand what are the benefits and how they can be with the beneficiary. And if there is any gap, that gap needs to be bridged. Ultimate objective of government is elected for 5 years. Somebody has timing for, now what is the timing? Government is elected for 5 years, my friend. We can choose the time whenever it is government feels appropriate. And when the schemes have been launched, not one scheme, there are more than 300 schemes. Just a second. I didn't
you have to let him respond,
don't
sir,
interrupt
please.
me. I didn't interrupt him while he's
He was patiently listening to you. Let
So
Zafar
there are
complete
more
his
than
point,
three-
then you can counter him. Zafar.
Okay.
There are more than 300 schemes. Government welfare scheme which has been announced. Let me tell you, every single decision made by the Honorable Prime Minister, the first, he always had in his mind while taking any call, the first beneficiary should be the common man. So all the 313 welfare schemes have been directed to common man on the streets and the marginalized section of the society. So everyone has been the beneficiary, but if there are some people who have not been able to avail benefit, then how to reach them out? They must be shy, they must not be able to reach out, they must be needing some support.
Zafar,
and when people
this
go
could
to
mean
village
for
like
good
I
politics,
do all the
but
time
is
to
this terrible
constituency,
policy? Is
there are
this
people who are
terrible
not aware of
policy, as
anything.
the opposition alleges, Zafar, that you're using these bureaucrats for your propaganda? How would you defend that?
As I said, they are both servants, whether leader, parties or the bureaucrat, they are all servants of the people. They have to serve the people. What are they doing?
Okay.
They are creating awareness.
But not of the government.
They are not doing any
Not of the
propaganda.
government, they say.
They are just creating awareness of all those.
Not to compare. Not to compare.
It's a government scheme.
Okay.
No, it is a government scheme. The block presidents, the 296 blocks they will be visiting. What is the responsibility of the block? Their responsibility is to reach out to the people. आप सोचते हैं ना कि आम आदमी को ही सिर्फ जो है ब्यूरोक्रेट्स के पास जाना चाहिए. ब्यूरोक्रेट्स आम आदमी के पास नहीं. ये सरकार दूसरी है. जनता जो है भगवान है. इस पर सरकार सबसे
निखिल
उसमें जनता की सेवा करनी है. जनता के लिए आगे करना है. ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को भी घर के उनके दरवाजे जाना चाहिए.
You know. Yes. Okay, Zafar, now I have to take the Congress also to task now, Nikhil, because you defend the Congress most of the times. Tell me something. Do you stand with what leaders like Pawan Kheda, leaders like Sitaram Yechuri, leaders like Mallikarjun Kharge had said? And then, please answer this in the backdrop of what Indira Gandhi had spoken about the judiciary. And I quickly just want to read this. She said in November 1969, Nikhil, the creation of an administrative cadre committed to national objectives and responsive to our social needs is an urgent necessity. So the government says, we are right. We just want to ensure the last mile delivery. So what is the problem, Nikhil?
Wait, first of all, BP, you have to go back all the way to 1969 to find something that from the Congress that can be compared with this. Number one. Number two, even that can't be compared.
You can't deny it, no? You can't deny that, Nikhil.
No. What you read, what you read, what has that to do with the Rath Prabhari thing? I don't understand. The very nomenclature of it, Rath Prabhari.
No, your problem then is with the word Rath Prabhari. Your problem is not with the bureaucrats. Then a Pawan Kheda who says that this is propaganda is then being hypocritical, no?
Let me make my points. Let me make my points. Sorry? Let me make my point that first of all, the letter that has become all of this controversy, the letter that has given life to all of this controversy, it very clearly says that this Rath Yatras, these Rath Yatras in each of the districts are to showcase, celebrate the achievements of the past 9 years. Zafar साहब यहाँ पे बैठ के वो ये कह रहे हैं that people will be made aware of the last mile delivery schemes. That is not what this Rath Yatra is for. This Rath Yatra here is because the government wants to showcase the achievements. And if indeed it is about the government schemes, why do they not talk about every single scheme? Manrega is not a scheme of the past 9 years, but the Modi government continues it. It's a very good scheme. Food security, compulsory education, all of these schemes are since before the Modi era. So, but the Modi government's politicians,
so, Nikhil, you're
Modi government's
insecure.
Bureaucrats won't be talking about it.
You're getting insecure, Nikhil. That's the problem. You know, if the intention is to think good of the common man, you should support the government. Because your problem is just with the government schemes being talked about. Your problem is with the word Rath being used.
The problems are multifold. The fact that officers of such senior rank are being roped in, the fact that it is only to showcase achievements, the fact that it only covers the past 9 years, the fact that it is a Rath Yatra and not an awareness camp. What is the better way to reach out to the last citizen of the country? Is it to run a Rath through the district, or is it to make sure that a camp, a physical camp
Nikhil,
is organized
I'm just
in every
reminded of
village,
one
every
thing, and you must
panchayat?
not take this personally. When you said Bharat Jodo Yatra, a lot of people said कि भारत तो टूटा हुआ नहीं है, लेकिन आप फिर भी कह रहे हैं भारत जोड़ो यात्रा.
अरे बाबा, that is a political thing. You can't compare
अगर सरकार ये कहती है, अगर सरकार ये कहती है कि रथ प्रभारी होंगे, तो आपको उसके टर्म से दिक्कत है.
No. The BJP can do it very well. See, had the BJP said, Deepthi, had the BJP said we are going to take out a Rath Yatra like that, nobody would have had a problem. The fact that the government of India is doing that with senior government officers and then making it completely a political event, that is the problem. The politicization of the bureaucracy, the massive misuse of government machinery and resources for political campaigning, that is the problem.
Of the bureaucracy.
Political campaigning is all right. All parties do that.
1969, Nikhil. 1969 spoke of a quote-unquote committed bureaucracy.
Did she say the judiciary should be committed to
I let the viewers decide where they stand, Nikhil. I've completely run out of time. But I thank all our guests for joining us, and we'll continue to carry forward this entire conversation. I'm sure this is not the last one that we are having. Thank you. On the other side, we are back with lots more.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, released recently, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
towards the Israeli forces has it, and they are on their way.
रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल्स गिरी है।
इजराइल अब ये इंतजार कर रहा है कि जैसे ही सभी लोगों को बाहर लेकर आया जाएगा, आतंकी को खत्म करने को लेकर जो स्ट्रैटेजी इजराइल ने बनाई है उसकी तैयारी भी की जाएगी।
ಇಸ್ರೇಲ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಹಮಾಸ್ ನಡುವಿನ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ 12ನೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ದಿಟ್ಟ ವರದಿಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು,
गोलियों की बौछार हमास के आतंकियों द्वारा कर दी गई।
So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, released recently, India's #1 ranked
Trending burning question, powered by Reva University.
While Israel's unrelenting fight against terror continues, anti-Israel protests are being held across India. From national capital to Hyderabad, particularly on campuses, we have seen protesters coming out in support of Palestine. Now, the interesting bit is that all these people, the organizations they represent, like the ISA, All India Students Association, affiliated with the CPI, or the Students Federation of India, another communist student organization, they were absolutely silent on October 7. Not one statement condemning Hamas. Now they come out and say, free Palestine. Given over 1,400 Israelis were massacred and 222 still continue to remain hostage, and not all of them are Israelis, about 36 nationalities. They continue to be in the custody of Hamas as bargaining chips for the last 17 days. The question remains, is the lobby trying to cloak Hamas support in the name of Palestine? Have a look at this report and I'll come back to discuss.
From national capital,
many students this afternoon had given a protest call to protest against the Israel's attack, which have been going on since many days between the Hamas
and Israel, and to protest against what has been going on between the two nations. This is where the students who were actually camping here to come and raise their voice against the atrocities, as they have said, against the people of Palestine. And this is in fact what has been seen as a major show of strength and in support for the people of Palestine.
To Hyderabad, pro-Palestine protests are being held in the country.
A protest public meeting is being held here in Dar es Salaam, which is being organized by AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, who is leading this, and also at the same time many people here are also holding placards showing free Palestine and we stand by Palestine is what a strong message which is coming in from here in Hyderabad.
While Government of India has time and again clearly backed Israel in its fight against terror, is lobby trying to cloak Hamas support in the name of Palestine? Let's debate.
All right, welcome back, friends. I'm told we are, of course, having all the guests. Shubhrastha joins us, young leader, leans towards the right, and Sumant C. Raman. He, of course, is a political analyst joining us live from Chennai, leans towards the Congress party. And I would want to begin with Syed Asad Abbas. He's joining us live from Bengaluru, political analyst. Syed Asad Abbas, you know, I was hearing these slogans by ASI, AISA and SFI students, Israel Murdabad. You know, they said from river to the sea, Palestine would be free. Now, my question is, Asad Abbas, do they even understand that if they say free Palestine and the land from the sea, river to the sea, is to be Palestine, then Israel does not exist? These are people, Syed Asad Abbas, who have not even once condemned Hamas. I mean, are we really living in some la-la land? Are we going to talk about some morality in public life?
Abhishek Saab, a couple of points. First and foremost, these protests, these demonstrations are not just happening in India. Over 1 lakh people gathered together in the city of London. This is taking place in America as well. Not just that, in Israel too. I have seen videos by Al Jazeera where they show Holocaust survivors, Jews, their family, their progeny, even rabbis. Not just that, Jordan, Sweden, London, America, Capitol Hill, including India. World over there are protests over the war crimes of Israel. Now coming straight to the point, the fact of the matter is we need to understand, Abhishek Sahab, if they have said Israel Murdabad, let me tell you, I believe that no country should be called Murdabad, none. If for certain political elements and their agenda, it is not fair to call Murdabad. But we need to speak of the war crimes of Israel. How many children? I am a father of a daughter, Abhishek Saab, and I can't bear to see those videos of innocent children being dead, hospitals being bombed. What kind of war crimes is this? Electricity cut off, food, water. Shouldn't Israel be called a terror state?
This is half truth.
Be called a terror state? Why are we blind? Abhishek,
this is half truth.
30 seconds I've done, Abhishek Saab. Abhishek Saab,
30 seconds.
How can we, being a father to a daughter, tomorrow my daughter will question me, how will I answer that? Be it Israel or be it Palestine, no innocent must be harmed. And let me tell you,
those daughters
between Hamas,
those daughters who were killed, on October 7 were also
Abhishek Saab,
daughters of someone.
There is a difference between Hamas and there is a difference between innocent civilians of Palestine. I, on your show, say, I stand with Palestine.
Okay,
what was the
but where is the condemnation of Hamas?
Yes.
Okay, now, Shubhrastha, you see, Shubhrastha, October, let me get others. We're short on time.
Sure.
Let me get others. Shubhrastha, October 7 is the Hamas terror attack. The Student Federation of India first post comes on October 11, says, stand for peace and freedom. We oppose apartheid and illegal occupation. The first post or tweet by AISA comes on October 9. They say they hold Israel completely responsible for this. October 10, they release a statement absolutely mum on Hamas. October 12th, they quote Nelson Mandela. I mean, imagine the chicanery and stupidity of these students. Their professors and their lecturers should be ashamed of themselves for the kind of stupidity they are teaching their students. They are quoting Nelson Mandela in support of Hamas. Can you get more stupid than that, Subrashta?
Abhishek ji, thank you for inviting me on the show. I think it's very important to underscore the point that none of these people who are today standing in support of Palestine and speaking on national media and writing these illustrious columns, they will not be able to differentiate and delineate between Hamas and Palestine, Palestine activists. And they want to fuse this entire identity and play the entire victim card and blame Israel. It has always been the modus operandi. This is not the first time it has happened. This will continue to happen. But what I think people who actually are pacifists, people who actually advocate for peace today, I think it's important to take these activists to task and ask them specific questions on Hamas. I agree with somebody who would say that, they support Palestine. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm pro-humanity. That's fine. You can absolutely have that stand. But what about the war crimes that are being committed by an illegal, immoral, terrorist organization like Hamas? Can we just stick to Hamas? Can we just stick to the script and ask these people to clarify their stand? It is very easy to paint a very personal picture of a daughter and, being a mother of a daughter or being a father of a daughter and all of that. We all appreciate those sentiments. Firstly, let us understand that in the Israel-Palestine issue today, I don't think there is any room to discuss the right to self-determination, etc., etc. Today, we need to understand that that entire zone, that entire land is under a lot of stress. That entire land is going through unmitigated violence. Where do we stand? If the violent perpetrators are from Hamas, is there any Palestinian activist in India who has the guts and gumption to say that, well, they do not support the Hamas? Can we have that clarity from these activists?
You see, the stress might be on both the sides. The stress might be on both the sides. Syed Asad Abbas, I'll come to you. You got your opening comments. I have to get to Sumant Raman also. And then I'll come to you for the second round. You see, the stress might be on both the sides. Israel, of course, has to approach the issue of Palestine or viable Palestinian state with little more integrity than it has. But I am on the misplaced understanding of the issue among these supporters of Palestine and India.
Well, I don't think
they have to be honest about condemning Hamas first before they say Palestine ko nyay do. Okay, justice for Palestine is fine, but that does not mean you say Israel murdabad. That's really unfair. Sumant Raman, and the ISA and SFI, they hold an Ambedkar lecture on the Israel-Palestine issue, right? On October 14th or 12th in a Delhi campus. I was going through whether Baba Saheb Ambedkar said anything on Israel. I could look at just one thing. Maybe I did not have enough time to, do a little more deep dive. Baba Saheb Ambedkar gave an interview to one Glora Becher in 1941 on the issue of the Jewish state. And he actually said that he expressed admiration for the pioneering efforts of the Jews in Palestine in respect of the social order that was being created there in Palestine. Now, it's a little half-baked in the sense that this was before the state of Israel was set up. But, Sumant Raman, my question is that these students can't just be dismissed as misguided youth. They have their understanding absolutely mixed up. And perhaps with an injection of dishonesty.
No, Abhishek, I do not speak for these students. What my point is very simple. What Hamas has carried out is a crime against humanity. But the point remains that Hamas is a terrorist organization. And you cannot equate a terrorist organization with a state. Now, Israel is by a law compelled to follow the laws of international warfare. And carpet bombing Gaza, as they have been doing, and the Palestinian Authority today, by the way, just announced that 2,000 children have died. Now, that is not the way to go about it. Why? Look, the point is, if 1,400 Israelis have died official data from the Palestinian side is that in excess of 5,000 people have died and 830 people are now missing.
No, Sumant Raman.
Let's look at it this way.
Sumant Raman, my question is, where is, because the heart is bleeding for the Palestinians. My question is, why the Palestine movement has not created one Nelson Mandela, one Mahatma Gandhi? That's Palestine's problem. That's the problem the Palestinians have to answer.
Excuse me. They signed a
Why
accord.
have they turned out to be the backers of Hamas?
I'm sorry. They signed an accord. They signed an accord brokered by the United States. That accord was never implemented. I think
and then they went on to support Hamas.
No. Come on, Abhishek. All these children of 4 years and 3 years, they're all Hamas, according to you? I mean, what kind of argument is this? If Israel wants to take out Hamas, they have every right to. They have every right to take out Hamas down to the last man. What Hamas has carried out
then
is a
please tell these AISA and SFI students.
And Israel has the complete right to take them out in whatever way they want to. My point is very simple. Carpet bombing of innocent civilians and children is simply not the answer.
Yes, Abhishek. A couple of points to make. Firstly, yes.
Okay, Sayyid Asad Abbas. You know, there is this Pakistani columnist called Hamid Mir. He tweeted something yesterday or put a post and says that the support by Muslims around the world to Palestine is not about religion. Then he went on to say something which I found little stupid. He says Jinnah was progressive and liberal and not communal. And because he stood with Palestine, Pakistan should also stand with Palestine. Now, if Jinnah was liberal and progressive and not communal, then was by corollary Mahatma Gandhi communal, narrow? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was narrow? I mean, this is the kind of logic or illogic that is going into the support that people are giving to the issue of Palestine without understanding that this is not the time to talk about free Palestine. This is the time to take out Hamas and anyone associated with Hamas anywhere in the world.
Undoubtedly, Abhishek Saab, Hamas must be taken down. As a matter of fact, the so-called Mossad should learn from Indian agencies where we've done surgical precise operations. That way, they should have shot down one by one Hamas. Also, the matter of I'm glad that you mentioned about Hamid Mir and Pakistanis and Mr. Jinnah. Let me tell you, I have zero respect for this Pakistani called Hassan Mir. I think he is somebody who is very trivial and who is a nobody, and I will remain him a nobody. And coming to a Jinnah, is a communal man. I'd rather listen to the great M.K. Gandhi, who once beautifully said, Palestine belongs to Arabs like England belongs to English, France belongs to the French belongs to the France. Also, as a matter of fact, the great leader, statesman of India,
you are quoting from 1938.
Mr. Vajpayee.
You are quoting from 1938 or 39. I have a Mahatma Gandhi quote from 1947 also, where it clearly says that prima facie Jews have a right on Israel.
Allow me 30 seconds, sir. Allow me 30 seconds. I'll tell you what I believe in. I believe in India's policy, India's foreign policy with respect to Israel and Palestine, which calls for a two states. The two-state partition plan, Oslo Accords were signed. Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated by a right-wing leader of their own extremists. What happened to Yasser Arafat?
Who assassinated?
Oslo Accords was not followed. Yes, he was assassinated, Mr. Yitzhak Rabin. Now coming straight to the point, Abhishek Saab, we need to understand also a great statesman of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, what did he say? He said this Israel's occupation of the Palestinian land is not right. Israel must leave. What has been the policy of Manmohan Singh, Indira Gandhi? What has been the policy of even Narendra Modi ji visiting Mahmoud Abbas to 2022, recently meeting Mahmoud Abbas, the first Prime Minister of India? What about all this? I stand with India giving all the aids and supplies. Hats off to the Narendra Modi government for showing solidarity to all those martyrs and the people there.
With India.
That is the way to go.
Giving aid. Okay. Shubhrastha, my question was really missed. Shubhrastha, my question was really missed. If you want all this sympathy for Palestine, you have to ask this question of Palestinians. That where is your Nelson Mandela? Where is your Mahatma Gandhi? You have not produced one. In the case of Gaza Strip, a majority of Palestinians have supported Hamas. The point is,
Abhishek bhai, you should Google Yasser Arafat. He's done a great job, Abhishek bhai.
Are these pseudos? I'm asking a question to Shubrasta. I have just 1 minute left, Syed Asad Abbas. Are these pseudos rebels without a cause, or perhaps rent a cause, and they are going to be approaching this with absolute dishonesty and absolute lack of integrity in public life?
I think Abhishek ji, it is a matter of the latter. None of them have integrity, and I'll tell you why. Let me be very frank today. I would disagree with a Mahatma Gandhi in 1930s. I would disagree with Narendra Modi in 2000, whatever Mr. Abbas just quoted. I would disagree with Mr. Atal Bihari, late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji as well in today's context. All right, today the Palestinians, and you have raised a very valid question, where is a Nelson Mandela or a Gandhi from the Palestinian cause? There is none. The Palestinian activists have not differentiated and delineated, as I said. Especially in India, they are a rent-a-cause activists, but most of the world over Muslim Brotherhood support that they are getting is to establish an Islamic state, in the land of Palestine, and then of course then extended to whatever land the Israelis have. The question which I think needs to be asked is, does Palestine recognize the right for Israelis to exist? Do they agree that Israel should exist? That's the basic question that we need to ask.
Have you read the accord? The Palestinian government has accepted...
Okay, accord. Let me come on the accord. Sumanthi Raman, let me come on the accord.
There is no accord that one has signed with Hamas.
Let me come on the accord. Let me come on the accord. This is the accord. Sumant Raman, I'm holding a copy of the accord. Sumant Raman, listen. Sumant Raman, listen, I'm holding the copy of the accord.
Oh God.
Sumant Raman, listen, I'm holding the copy of the accord. It's called the Holy Bible. Deuteronomy 34.
Abhishek.
Then the Lord said to Moses, Musa alayhi salam, to Sayyid Zafar Abbas,
Abhishek,
this is the land that I promised Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. I would give to their descendants. I have let you see it, but I'll not let you go there. So Moses, the Lord's servant, died there in the land of Moab, as the Lord had said he would. Okay, Sumanthi Raman, Syed Asad Abbas, Abraham, Isaac.
Abhishek, I think you're not...
Jacob.
Abhishek Saab, I will answer.
And of course, Musa alayhi salam, all prophets to you also, Syed Asad Abbas. This is the accord, I think, based on which Israel was set up. And you can't start the world from 1948. Like in the case of India and Pakistan, you can't start the world in 1947. On that note, thank you so much, Shubrasta, Sumanthi Raman and Syed Asad Abbas for joining us. A short break on the other side. Arnab Goswami is back with the debate.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, released recently, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
Confident about the Israeli forces has it, and they are on their way.
रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं, और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल्स गिरी है।
इजरायल अब ये इंतजार कर रहा है कि जैसे ही सभी लोगों को बाहर लेकर आया जाएगा, तंगी को खत्म करने को लेकर जो स्ट्रैटेजी इजरायल ने बनाई है उसकी तैयारी भी की जाएगी।
ಇಸ್ರೇಲ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಹಮಾಸ್ ನಡುವಿನ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ 12ನೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ದಿಟ್ಟ ವರದಿಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು,
गोलियों की बौछार हमास के आतंकियों द्वारा कर दी गई।
So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given. Towards the Israeli forces has it, and they are on their way.
रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल्स गिरी है।
इजरायल अब ये इंतजार कर रहा है कि जैसे ही सभी लोगों को बाहर लेकर आया जाएगा, तंगी को खत्म करने को लेकर जो स्ट्रैटेजी इजरायल ने बनाई है उसकी तैयारी भी की जाएगी।
ಇಸ್ರೇಲ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಹಮಾಸ್ ನಡುವಿನ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ 12ನೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ದಿಟ್ಟ ವರದಿಯನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು,
गोलियों की बौछार हमास के आतंकियों द्वारा कर दी गई।
Backing Hamas acts in the name of Palestine support. Whitewashing Hamas terror in the name of Palestine. The big Hamas debate as Israel wage war on terror. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.